Live. I'm going live. Good morning, everybody. If you want to skip ahead, if you're watching this as a rerun, you can go about 25 minutes ahead or so. Getting on early just to make sure everybody can get locked in, looked up here, and hooked up, ready to go. Yeah. What do we got? A couple things going on I got to announce here today, I think. What is Mr. Mayor sent me something here. There we go. There we go. See if I can print this baby out. Morning, Waylon. How are you doing here? There we go. I don't know so much about what was the last group text message coming thing? Oh, Russ's surprise. Yeah, Russ's party thing going on there. Not sure if I'll make that. Not sure about that. What else is going on there, tubers? All right, we got that printed out. Yeah, moisture's nice, man. I was just looking here on the weather station that they put up at our place. We had, I think it was like 44 hundredths on Thursday. Yesterday we had an inch 17. So far this morning we've had 40. So we're about just shy of 2 inches here over the last over a 3-day period here. So, and what I like is it's nice and slow, man. Slow drizzly rain. Couple days off here, like that. Morning, Dave. Good to have you out in Minnesota. Listening in here. Mr. Sambowzik here. It rained pretty good in Pierre last night. Good. It seems like this system that came through covered a good portion of both North and South Dakota and Montana and Wyoming. There's my radar. Yeah. Yeah, it's there's the blue dot's me. Anyway, they been covering a lot of areas, so that's pretty cool. I know people wanted to get combining and all that stuff. It's good to have this moisture in August. And temperatures like in the 70s. What the hell, man? I'm liking that. Morning, Mr. Muth. We don't get to say it's very soggy in the Badlands, but it's soggy. It's greasy. I'm doing this calving barn. Well, not really a barn, calving hoop building type thing. And I did dirt work on it. This, they came Monday morning. They were done basically Tuesday morning. It was crazy. Those guys moved a lot of dirt in a hurry, brought in a whole bunch of gravel and sand and packed what they could. And then this moisture came here on top of this. Absolutely great getting it packed in. I wish I could find like the county. They have one of those pull behind the grader type of heavy duty, like 12 wheel packers. If I could borrow and go over that here after this starts drying out a little bit, really get a good pack on this. But let me see here. I was trying to get a photo of it. It's a lot of dirt work. There we go. Not raining now, but more coming. We still got some. It's still drizzling out here. We still got rain coming off the gutters here a little bit, so not too bad. Tessa Polcheski, the OBGYN facility, the bovine OBGYN facility is going to be put up here. I want to go to Sturgis Dragway today for the small tire shootout. Yeah, do it anyway. Do it anyway. So, Eric, the reason I say this is because, there's going to be a lot of these people thinking the same thing. Oh, I don't want to go down there, but go down there and make it. This is the thing, the Sturgis bike rallies, people coming just to watch this and have fun, entertain the crowd, but be safe doing it. Burgers, brats, and beer started yesterday at the Amadon Fire Hall. So Had a really good showing for the evening meal last night. Very good showing. What else is going on here? I suppose I could give John a call here. Let's see if I'm hooked up here, ready to go. Yep. Da, da, da. Suspense is killing me.
Hi, you've reached John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor
Really?
Adventures TV. I'm not in right now, so
Really?
please leave your name, number.
Come on, man. Come on, man. What do you do? Pretty sure he said he was still good to go. It says yes. Okay. What do you do? What you do is you back up, right? Get one of these. Get my shot of ivermectin in for the day. A week, I should say. Mr. Bulgy, good morning. Have you seen that the Public Service Commission in North Dakota has rejected Summit Carbon's request? They needed some more documentation and some more things. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes, where it goes from there. Cheers to a 3-day rain, man. Good soaker for the community on the western side. Nice. Okay, so at small tires, you got to run a 28 by 10. So what size are you running, Eric? What's big tire? I'm not into the racing stuff. I'd like to go watch too. Scott Bulgy, how much rain? Over the last, from Thursday night to right now, around 2 inches here at the ranch is what we gotten so far. All right, John, what do you got going? Come on, man.
Hi, you've reached John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV.
Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. Goddamn guy. Goddamn guy. See if he answers on my cell. 31 by 14. Okay.
Hi, you've reached John
No. Goes to voicemail again. I wonder if he slept in. What a deal. This guy. Thanks, John. Oh, well. Oh, got 10 minutes before he's get him up and at him. 31 by 14 or bigger. Maybe he lost his voice from being on Guns. I seen he was on Guns on the 701. I seen that. I didn't watch it, but I seen that they had him on Wednesday or something. Oh. They're way more techie than I am. They can figure that stuff out. They're super podcasters. They got it figured out. The hell else is going on around here? Oh, I got the team bull riding challenge tonight in Dickinson. Yeah, if anybody wants to jump in with the with me and I think Dixie might come with me. We want to jump in and head to Dickinson and watch some team bull riding challenge. Bull team and futurity challenge. Yeah, good bull riding, PBR type stuff here. Let's see if we got that. Maybe he was on the Seven Guns in the 701, and he's like, you know what? This show is so much better than Scott's. I'm not going to go on Scott's anymore. How'd that happen? How'd that happen with one guy? It came to a political issue. He was going to be on my show. This was years ago, like 12 years ago. He was like, yeah, I'll be on your show. And it got to like 5 minutes before the show. I'm like, are you ready? He's like, no, I'm not going to come on your show anymore. You're on the wrong side of that Measure 5 issue. I was like, all right. All right. Whatever. I tell John we're at 7 o'clock. Maybe he wakes up at 7. Suspense. No, going to voicemail again, isn't it? We'll leave a voicemail. Uh-oh. Got 3 rings out of it this time. 4 rings. What's going on?
Hi, you've reached John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. I'm not in right now, so please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I'll get right back to you. Have a great day.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
All right, John, this is all your fans on YouTube and Dakota Prairie Outdoors wondering if you're waking up here to come on the radio program. Sure miss ya. I know you're in the spotlight, Guns in the 701, and just wondering, are you banning my program like somebody did 12 years ago, or are you just sleeping in? Let me know, man. All right. See how that works. Probably not very well. Station 70000 coming up in 10 seconds here. Very short. Chuck Hansen, good morning. KGFX. Station 7 o'clock on the nose on Mark. 8 o'clock Central. Now you know what the leg time is. There you go. Well, it might be a grind your gears show if John doesn't want to partake in the activities. All right, this bull team and futurity challenge going on today. Dickinson Fairgrounds. My first time announcing at their brand new fairgrounds. Let's see here. Pay 1 hole for every 4 entries. 2-year-old futurity, $400 fees, 100% payback. Pay 1 hole for every 4 and 2-year-old, $3,000 claimer. Pay 1 hole for every 4 entries on the 3-year-old derby. The 15 teams, 2 rider friendly team bulls, $1,000 fees, 100% payback. Wow. That's crazy. And the Champions Ride match at the Sentinel Butte's going on today as well. I bet that is a soggy mess up there. Oh, man. Well, what do you do? John, if you're listening, Paul Chesky, that is. Appreciate the little bump from Austin Snook. I'll be debuting Monday at the Bowman Livestock Marketing Association. Appreciate the bump for me. Thanks, man. I got that, Gene Cox. I got that right here. See? I printed it out. I'm waiting until I get on the air to give this here whole thing going on here, man. I got you covered. Morning, getting some rain down here in Miller, South Dakota. Miller, South Dakota, home of Wayne. Oh, what the heck was his name? Wayne. I worked at the newspaper with a printing press together. God darn it. Find him on Facebook here. Big Wayne, big son of a gun. Hopkins, Wayne Hopkins. Do you know him, Jim? I think he was from that Miller area, or at least he claimed to be. Hens are lower population this year, but the hatch seems to be the best in several years. I can see that, yeah. We're going to be talking about that. Hopefully, John is able to discuss this. Come on, man. Give him one more chance here, right? That's louder in my ears than what it was before. It is JP. Precious is still out west on vacation. Oh, you're using Tessa's. I got you. Okay. I see. Come on, John. Come on, John. John, you might be my guest for the first part here until John Arman gets on here. The John's here. We can discuss this.
Hi, you've reached John Arman.
Yeah. We might have to be discussing some lamb killers, if you know what I'm saying. Actually, there's some stuff we need to discuss, and you're a landowner as well, so we can start it and see if John Arman will join in here a little bit later. So, Bolcheski, be ready. I'm calling you here shortly. You want me to call you on your house phone or your cell phone? Where you at? Message me. Because Bulgy wants nothing more than to hear your soft, soothing voice. It's basically like warm caramel or caramel. Depends on who you're from, where you're from, melting all over your ears on the radio. Okay. Sounds good. I haven't called your house number in a long time. I think that's right. Let's see. Who did I get? Is that the wrong number?
Good morning, Mr. Scott Bachmeyer.
Oh, there it is. The right number.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, you have one of the easiest numbers to memorize. So it should be the right one. 60 seconds, my friend. You're going to be filling in for the other John.
Got it. Oh, got a delay here.
Yeah, you better turn that down a little bit. It's giving me a little bit of feedbackage.
There, I got it. Pause.
Okay. Yeah, you don't
report 4.8 inches.
What?
Northeast of Scranton, 3 miles. 5.5 right north of Bowman. We're just a little over 2 down here.
We're right at 2.
Yep.
Or ish.
So the Furman legend over there is at 3.5 or 3.6, something like that.
Scott Bulgy says, ask Tessa how she's feeling this morning. Oh, stand by. Stand by. We're coming here in 15 seconds. Stand by. Going on the quiet side of things here. Sorry about that, man. All right, stations. 10 seconds to showtime here. Good morning. It's the Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Welcome and have a great Saturday this morning here. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, your host here for the next hour, talking outdoors and open lines, too. There's no doubt about that. Now, I'm going to give Mr. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures a little bit of a grieve here because, sleeping in and not waking up and answering your phone. And he's on Central Time, so it's like an hour ahead of where I am here. So it should have been there. So I'm bringing in a different John Polcheski. Down on the North-South Dakota border here, farmer rancher down there. Morning, Mr. Polcheski. How the heck you been?
Good morning, Scott. Things are great. 3-day rain.
Yes.
First part of August. You can't ask for nothing better than that.
Some of my YouTube listeners here that are on, they said it appears gotten rain down that way. We've this system has been a 3-day slow soaker system. Well, I shouldn't say that because there has been some areas that got like a 2-inch downpour. That's not good here, but what I've gotten here in the Badlands, man, it's been a slow soaker. It's been pretty nice.
Yep. It's been a really good soft rain. Like you said, there was a few heavier showers that came through that first Thursday night and really put a lot of water down. But after that, it's just been a steady rain for the last, I don't know, 36 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it's been really nice here. So, what do you, as somebody that has a lot of combining to get done, are you worried about this? I've seen a lot of combines out there right now. What's been going on?
Yeah, it's the peas and lentils have been coming off. I tried some oats last week. We're still about a week away from getting all the green out and get the grain dried down, but it's going to be a nip and tuck year. I think they are talking more chance of rain in the forecast, so it might be a tough harvest to get things off. But I'd say a week, 10 days, this part of the world will be combines running everywhere.
Yeah, I think so too. Look at 4.1 inches over across the Montana border. No downpours, just a slow, steady rain over there. Some people just pray a little harder for that rain, I think, John.
Well, some people know how to rain dance better than us, these two.
All right, a couple things going on. Are you ready for this here? We have Dakota Territory Gun Collectors Gun Show is going to be in Mobridge, September 9th and 10th at the Sheer Howe Event Center on Main Street, Mobridge here. So something for everybody here. Antique and modern firearms, ammunition, reloading equipment, artifacts, old Western items, knives, and a whole bunch more here. So if you want to partake in that, it is September 9th and 10th in Mobridge, home of Brent Kimnitz's fishing extraordinaire, John.
Is he still alive and kicking down there? I haven't heard much from him lately.
Well, he's busy. You know, he's catching the 30-inch walleyes for everybody.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he has.
How come he never did that for us?
Well, I think he saves that for the high-paying clients. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. So you got to pay to get those. Our presence wasn't a tip enough, huh?
It wasn't. Dear Elise just messaged me. He says he wants some. This is just for you, John. He says Weather Mod must have made it rain in your area to have this going on.
Well, no kidding. The problem is they weren't flying at all now when it's been raining, so there's that.
Is the Weather Mod thing, is that still a fight in certain areas?
Oh, it's still a really hot topic in North Dakota.
Yeah, okay.
You know, we've had good rain down this part of the world, but you get up Minot, Berthold, west of there, where they still have a couple counties flying too, and there's been some pretty hot and mad bothered people because that they keep seeding and people's crops are drying out. And yeah, still got a local connections up there with a few guys, and they're trying to make another run at getting rid of the rest of the counties up there to get rid of the program as well.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Does South Dakota have any counties in the weather modification down in that area too? I can't remember.
Not for 20-some years or better. I bet they ran them out 20, 25 years ago.
Okay. Being interesting to hear from some of the South Dakota guys. All right, so John Arman was supposed to be on here. We were discussing. I see he was on the Guns in the 701 show this week. And he said he was going to be on my show, but he got so much fame and fortune off of Guns in the 701. It seems like he banned me. What do they call that now? Ghosting? Is that right? He ghosted me.
Yeah, he must think he's better than us now after being on with those two yahoos from that show.
Let's see. So I talked to somebody at the auction on Thursday over by Hettinger. I was talking to the Vermeer dealers, Loefflers. And they said that they're going to have so many big deer this year because the crops are doing well. And honestly, unless the Great White Combine came across and destroyed some of the stuff, like we've seen some of the crops really get hailed out in some areas. But otherwise, the crops look very, very good this year, John. I mean, they really do on the farming aspect of it. They're doing well, right?
Yeah, everything got rain at the right time, and we never got terribly hot for too long and just kept cooling off at night. And corn in this world looks like East River corn. There's every acre just looks phenomenal. And as far as the deer, last weeks I've been starting to see some pretty good size antlers out there, and obviously they're still in full velvet and some really good tine length. And it wouldn't be surprised me there'll be some probably 150, 160, maybe even some 170 whitetails get shot this fall.
And that's on dry land, okay? And that's not feeding them or putting extra mineral out or anything like that.
Right. That's just Mother Nature doing Mother Nature by itself.
What blows my mind is, the Loefflers, they said the same thing. They're like, I'll give a cheap plug for them, Loeffler Vermeer. If you're looking for Vermeer haying equipment or feeding equipment, check them out of Hettinger, North Dakota. They do a heck of a nice job. Anyway, you're looking at, they said that some of the biggest deer that they've been coming on in years, whether it's whitetail or mule deer. They said this is the biggest deer. And they asked me what I've been seeing. And We got hit 2 years ago with that EHD, and I think it affected our breed back because I haven't seen hardly anything out here.
Well, you say that every time, then every time I come visit you, like all I see is deer running around up there.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, right. When the last time you came up here, John, did you see more deer or elk?
Oh, I think it was deer, but last time I come up there, I don't think you couldn't even hardly walk.
That's true. I mean, the last time you came out, we went through the pastures. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, yeah, I tell you, it seems like it's not as unless it's there's enough coverage and forage in the Badlands. Maybe they're actually hiding and I can't see them. But even on the roads, I don't see them on the roads at night.
Right.
So I don't know.
Deer will come back. They might be down now, but they will come back.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what's happening. So Jamie Breck from Guns on the 701, he says he did say he was going to be on your show today, but it doesn't seem like it. So I think he got fame and fortune. See, they got sponsors that actually, they're raking it in right now. This podcast thing, I should probably get on some of that stuff. But I like the old-fashioned radio style, man. That's
maybe we just need to start ghosting those two then too.
Ghosting. Oh man, so big deer and
partridge.
Really? Now that's something
had a
that's
huge,
really
huge
low.
deer. Yeah, about anywhere down here on the east side of Bowman County, you'll jump cubbies all over, and they're probably 18 to 25 per cubby.
Now that's something that people haven't seen in this area in a long time is the partridge because those Huns, man. When I remember growing up, John, we used to go get a limit of pheasant, grouse, and partridge. That was the end of your day. It wasn't just pheasant hunting. It was everything at that time. And you don't see people hunting those grouse and partridge very often anymore.
Well, if we want a real challenge here in about a month, we'll try that dove season out.
Oh, that's right. Morning dove season is coming around the corner pretty quickly.
I think that opens the same time as bow hunt, doesn't it? Right.
It does. Yeah, it does. Up in the northern border, yeah. So the doves, I don't mind eating those. It takes a lot of them. There's no doubt about it, but it takes a little bit of a lot of gunshots here to get some. The hard part I have right now is depending on where you shoot them. If you find some nice cropland, then they drop into that. You got to go try to sift through it and see if you can find it here. But we're up against our first break. Coming up your way, we're going to be discussing more open lines, too, if you want to call in and see what's going on here and start a conversation. Let's do that. 888-932-5682. That's 888-9-DAKOTA if you want to spell it out that way. Back after these messages. Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty invite you to the next equipment or land auction. Go to Pfeiffer's.com and check out the Sioux Falls Pre-Harvest 2023 Equipment Auction Tuesday, August 22nd. Then on Tuesday, August 29th, it's the Blana Ranch Retirement Auction out of Carrington, North Dakota. Thursday, September 7th is the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction. And on Monday, September 18th, it's the Bud James Agnew Family Trust Equipment Auction out of Minokan, North Dakota. For more information and to find an auction near you, go to Pfeiffer's.com.
As you know, the cattle prices are fluctuating. It can be difficult for livestock producers to protect their investment against unexpected future. Let Dakota Community Insurance protect you against the unexpected future declines in the cattle market with a Livestock Risk Protection LRP policy. Contact Dakota Community Insurance today to discuss how LRP can help you manage your risk. Dakota Community Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Are you looking for a home loan? Dakota Community Bank and Trust makes it easy and convenient to find the best loan program and most current rates available. Whether you are shopping for a home for the first time or thinking about new construction or refinancing, we offer the assistance of an experienced mortgage officer, together with a convenient online or in-person application process. Let us walk alongside you to find that exact loan to meet your specific needs. Find your local home loan officer at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty invite you to the next equipment or land auction. Go to Pfeiffer's.com and check out the Sioux Falls Pre-Harvest 2023 Equipment Auction Tuesday, August 22nd. Then on Tuesday, August 29th, it's the Blana Ranch Retirement Auction out of Carrington, North Dakota. Thursday, September 7th is the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction. And on Monday, September 18th, it's the Bud James Agnew Family Trust Equipment Auction out of Minokan, North Dakota. For more information and to find an auction near you, go to Pfeiffer's.com.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Motrest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Bowman and Hettinger.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back to Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Don't forget Benny Paulson, the music you're hearing right now, helping put on the Stark County's Bull Team Challenge and Futurity going on starting this morning at 9 a.m. at the Dickinson Fairgrounds, the new facility. We have Bull Team Bull Riding Challenge and Cash and Cans Barrel Racing starting at 7 o'clock tonight. Gates open at 5, and it will be a blast. I'll tell you what, I'll be there, and I believe John Palczewski is going to be there too, maybe.
Yeah, I think what time are we going to sign autographs? 6:45?
Yeah, I don't think you and I need to be worried about anybody knowing who we are. That's for sure. So I got a message. I may have titled my YouTube channel a little incorrectly. I had fat fingers typing things in a little quickly this morning. It meant to say Pornghorn, but it came out something different. So sorry about that. We're talking about dove hunting before we went into break. They say dove jalapeno poppers, hard to beat. I've never had a dove one, but you made a lot of pheasant jalapeno poppers for me.
Yeah, I think dove would be perfect. You know, the pheasant ones you had to kind of slice up in the right size, and dove one you can probably just take the whole breast, all to piece, and send it.
Yeah. Look at there. John Arman's calling my cell phone all of a sudden here. So we'll get him on the second side here. We'll see here. I'm going to say, hey, I'm on the air right here.
I'm on there where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, we are right there. Anyway, I'll give a hold of you, John, here. If you're listening, I'll get you here on the second side. We'll get you there going on. So one of the things I want to talk to John about here, you have an issue. You have a lot of sheep and lambs out there. Probably not lambs anymore. I think you got them stripped off here now. But coyotes, I had the big issue this spring with calving season. I've never had so much coyote issues in my life. How about, and you've had them this summer with your sheep crop too?
We've been battling pretty hard with them taking our lambs, quite a few lambs, but I don't know, there's 2 weeks in a row there. I just slept in the pickup with the sheep and trying to wait for the state trapper to get the airplane down here. And they got a bunch killed off, and then they were still killing. And we finally got the one killed that was coming in, but now some more moved in down the river, up the river, coming out of the cornfields now. And that's the downside of planting corn next to your pastures. It attracts every wildlife around within 5-10 miles. And so we still got coyotes, and we're going to have coyotes, and it's just the way it's going to be. And I guess come October or September, we get crops off and things caught up. It's full-on hunting season.
Yeah. Why do you feel that there's more coyotes at this point? Because my theory is the price was terrible for last fall's fur prices. Does it really change and have that many more coyotes if there's that many? I mean, just in our area, it seems like there was hardly anybody going and shooting coyotes anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he took a few of the guys that were trapping out, but I still kind of hit my yearly quota, what I usually shoot around my place, but I just don't know. I know I do have a friend that did come across a den this spring, and he ended up taking 9 pups out of that den that he found.
9 pups.
Yeah.
Oh. So do you feel that they had bigger litters this year than normal?
It'd be interesting to see, if a guy could have caught the adults coming back, but sometimes they will have two females will dead in the same hole.
Really?
I mean, more than likely, I just probably flip a coin if it was two mamas or if there's one. But dogs, it's pretty common for dogs to have 8-10 in a litter. So I wouldn't put it out of the way that one female had 9 pups.
Yeah. Well, I think so too. The state trapper came to my place, and the few females that he got, he opened them up, and they had, this spring already. He said that there were some that had 12 pups inside. Now, not all of them live, of course, but still, somebody told me, an old trapper said, the more coyotes you take out of the area, the more the more they'll have pups of to build that population back up. I wonder if that's true.
I suppose it is. Just Mother Nature doing Mother Nature things, but
yeah.
I think every single white-tailed doe in my part of the world has a set of twins on it right now.
So you've had good breed back in your area, but I also think that, you had EHD way before, like 10, 12 years ago, and you had a whole bunch of deer die down in your neck of the woods. But I feel that they kind of got a immunization. They built up immunity to it in some form, because this last run 2 years ago, you didn't have any kill off like we did up here.
Yeah, I mean, the previous 20 years, every time they talked EHG in North Dakota, we were always the hardest hit area. Now, when that was 2 years ago and everybody lost 80% of the population, I don't think we lost one.
Yeah.
1%. We just didn't find anything dead like we used to go down here. But then coming this fall, usually EHD is a problem when you get stale water and dries up. Now we've had big rain after big rain the last 2-3 weeks, so I don't think there's even a chance of EHD again this year. So.
No, I agree. That standing stale water is what kind of gets those midges going. Question comes in from Mr. Mayor. He says, can you shoot them from the air, from an ultralight or something like that? On the North Dakota side of the border, they don't allow us to do that.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
South Dakota, obviously I live right in the state line, and we have livestock on both sides of the state line, but South Dakota, they have contract pilots that are approved as long as they get your written position. You can call any one of those contract pilots, and they'll come up and they'll sure help you out.
But in South Dakota, you can fly your own property, can't you?
I believe so. If you had your own plane, yeah.
Yeah.
And technically, the way North Dakota is written, if I had a plane and I had problems with my livestock, as long as I shot coyotes on my own property out of my own airplane, I think I'd be 99% legal to do that. Because I'm protecting my own livestock, right? By killing them by any means possible. If they're killing my livestock, that should fall underneath that description.
I think that's a gray area that you're going into here, John. I don't know if they would approve that. I don't know if that falls under any means possible.
Can you think we can call Ukraine and I get one of those drones that have the missiles on them? Can I just hunt them with a drone?
Wouldn't that be fun? Being able to get to take care of your livestock, sit in the comfort of your own vehicle and take care of that. Well, that would be great.
Even if they just let us have a 17 caliber on there.
Yeah.
Shit, those drones can sneak right up on them and do a little.
I don't know if they could sneak up with a 17. They're kind of noisy, those drones are.
Well, maybe. But
Eric from the Pier says, You can do anything until you get caught, he says, and the gray might be an understatement as the gray area part.
Yeah, might be.
Might be. Why don't you try it first, John, and then we'll see how it goes, and then the rest will follow.
Will do. I'm on it.
You're on it here. Yeah, that's right. And, the other part is any means possible, which is, I wish they'd define that a little bit better, but technically we can't even use night vision or thermal in the North Dakota side from March 15th.
And the deer season,
until deer season.
21st of November, whatever.
Text comes in, says Biden may give you cluster bombs if you say Russia's coming after you. So there you go.
Russia. Mother Russia.
Yeah. All right. So sheep problems. We got crops you can't get up because of too much moisture. It sounds pretty good, though, overall, because it gives you a chance to go out shooting a little bit. It gives you a chance to take a few days off and go see this team bull riding challenge we're going to tonight. I think it'll be a good weekend.
Yeah. I got one more day of freedom before my family comes back from vacation, so I suppose I better make sure I get all my dishes done quick and laundry done. And
Mr. Beard says the problem is fur hunters rely on other countries to buy our fur. How many hunters' wives wear fur? Do you know of any ranchers that don't eat beef? That's a good statement there. It seems like in the United States, wearing fur used to be elegant and high class. Now you hardly see anybody doing it. And the ones that you do see kind of surprise you once in a while.
yeah, my mom has a fur or a coyote vest that she probably got 10 years ago, and that thing's really nice, but she only wears it on special occasions. I know if we go down that stock show, there is some pretty good fur stuff you can buy down there for coats and vests and things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the antis kind of ruined it for us here, especially the fur market here. It says, talk about coyotes here. The ones that want to hunt other things won't show up to help out because the price isn't good. Gas and shells cost too much and still want to hunt. So what help are they for some of the farmers and ranchers? But we can get into that another day and find out that here. But John, I appreciate you filling in for the other John. The other John is ready, he says. He set his phone to mountain time instead of central time, and well, there you go. Sometimes that happens. So I appreciate your time, my friend.
All right, we'll see you in a few hours.
You bet. We'll see you at the Bull Team Challenge. John Paul Chesky, farmer rancher on the North-South Dakota border. Coming back, we'll have John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. All coming up your way on Dakota Prairie Outdoors, Saturday edition. Good morning, everybody. We'll be back after these messages. Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty invite you to the next equipment or land auction. Go to Pfeiffer's.com and check out the Sioux Falls Pre-Harvest 2023 Equipment Auction Tuesday, August 22nd. Then on Tuesday, August 29th, it's the Blana Ranch Retirement Auction out of Carrington, North Dakota. Thursday, September 7th is the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction. And on Monday, September 18th, it's the Bud James Agnew Family Trust Equipment Auction out of Minokan, North Dakota. For more information and to find an auction near you, go to Pfeiffer's.com.
As you know, the cattle prices are fluctuating. It can be difficult for livestock producers to protect their investment against unexpected future. Let Dakota Community Insurance protect you against the unexpected future declines in the cattle market with a livestock risk protection LRP policy. Contact Dakota Community Insurance today to discuss how LRP can help you manage your risk. Dakota Community Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Are you looking for a home loan? Dakota Community Bank and Trust makes it easy and convenient to find the best loan program and most current rates available. Whether you are shopping for a home for the first time or thinking about new construction or refinancing, we offer the assistance of an experienced mortgage officer, together with a convenient online or in-person application process. Let us walk alongside you to find the exact loan to meet your specific needs. Find your local home loan officer at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty invite you to the next equipment or land auction. Go to Pfeiffer's.com and check out the Sioux Falls Pre-Harvest 2023 Equipment Auction Tuesday, August 22nd. Then on Tuesday, August 29th, it's the Blana Ranch Retirement Auction out of Carrington, North Dakota. Thursday, September 7th is the Upper Midwest timed online-only equipment auction. And on Monday, September 18th, it's the Bud James Agnew Family Trust Equipment Auction out of Minokan, North Dakota. For more information and to find an auction near you, go to Pfeiffer's.com.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Bowman and Hettinger.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, all across the great Dakota Territory. Stations like KGFX out of Pierce, South Dakota, thank you. KOLY, Mobridge, KFYR, Bismarck, Mandan. KCJB, where I cut my teeth in radio, and Minot, and in KLTC on the Western Edge. And not only that, thank you for everybody tuning in on the YouTube live stream. Appreciate that. Couple things. Don't forget about Freedom Repair. Lucas Kelly, he can fix your tractor if you're still bailing. Combine season is a big deal. He's a combine expert, 18 years of experience, going on 19 years now, nearly 2 decades. Lucas Kelly, Freedom Repair, veteran-owned and operated, 701-440-1945. Dakota Territory Gun Collectors Gun Show coming up in Mobridge, September 9th and 10th. And the Stark County Bull Team Challenge and Futurity going on tonight, 7 o'clock. At the Stark County Fairgrounds. I'll be announcing that and having a good time with that. John Arman joins me here. Finally, John, did you see the description I accidentally put on YouTube?
No, I didn't. What did it say?
I said we're going to talk deer and pronghorn. And I spelled pronghorn, pornhorn. So we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking pronghorn antelope, okay? So
Well, we can talk antelope porn. We're out in Gillette, Wyoming right now. Levi and I are out here getting things set up for the opener. Is August 15th. So we're looking at we call it antelope porn. We're spotting them and checking them out and getting blinds set up. So it's not a bad deal.
So North Dakota side of things, they went from nearly 2,000 tags last year to 420 this year. A drop of nearly 1,600 tags. I'm not sure where South Dakota sits. I tried to find their numbers this morning, and I couldn't find the previous years. That's a big change on things here on the western edge of the Dakota Territory here again. And we've been through this, 12 years ago when they closed up the season for many, many moons. And are we going to see that again?
Well, I don't know if we have another bad winter. And again, I don't know the die-off rate, but I know antelope do migrate. And I don't, like I said, I had 5 or 6 antelope in my backyard in Bismarck, and they all made it through the winter. I think maybe one died, and there was a buck, some does, and some yearlings. So I don't know how many antelope actually died or if they actually moved south because of the winter. You just don't know.
Yeah. How did the antelope population look in Wyoming right now?
Well, where we're at, it looks really good. I talked to the rancher, and they said that they didn't lose many over the winter, but they did have something go through this spring when they were super dry and everything was dry, and then it greened up real fast, and he doesn't know if that did it, but they lost some of their mature bucks. But right now, any direction you look, we're seeing antelope, so it looks pretty good. A little bit wetter than we'd like it, but again, for the ranchers and farmers, it's not a bad deal.
Yeah. That's a big thing. We're going into August here, the first part of August right now. This rain system that came through the Dakota Territory and just hung on us here for the last 3 days. Some places up to 4 inches of rain. We're sitting at just shy of 2 here at the ranch in the Badlands. Definitely going to change the technique because you guys like to sit over water holes. So what's the plan if that doesn't work? Maybe there's other potholes around. Are you going to be doing some spot and spooking, or what's the scoop?
Yeah, and we've also got a couple spots, on this ranch. There's some highways going from one pasture to the next pasture on fence crossings. And if you walk the fence lines, you will find most of these guys have some pretty intense fences because there's some sheep out here in this country, but a lot of them are 5-wire fences, and they've got them low to the ground. So you just got to kind of look around, and they'll be almost like a single track, dirt track going underneath these fences. And we sat up last year on a water hole close to one, and the guy said that all day long antelope were going back and forth through there. So we may do that.
Yeah. It's interesting to do that. And then how do you spend the time sitting 14 hours in a blind with Levi Nelson?
Well, I haven't had that experience yet.
He doesn't do it. That's how he does it.
Yeah. You bring a lot of snacks, reading material. You get to talk about everything. The first day, by the time the end of the first 14 hours, you've talked about everything you can think of. And the next day gets a little bit tough, but it is, a great way for us filming. You see a lot of animals. And even with this, the moisture coming through right now is not terrible. There's going to be, I think it's going to stay in the 70s and then get back up in the 80s. Most of this should dry up.
Yeah.
And the water holes that we have found right now have got a lot of tracks on them. And I'm thinking that we should still do okay. We've hunted before when it's been wet like this, and antelope are kind of creatures of habitat, and they'll come to that same water hole.
Are you using the same place? Are you paying to get on the place, or is this somebody's that you've been hunting for years and years?
Well, it's a place we've been hunting years and years, but we do pay an access fee to the rancher, which again, I've always said that for me to pay an outfitter versus a rancher, nothing against outfitters, but I'd rather pay a rancher an access fee. And this rancher, it's 3 brothers. They're older, and there's a gentleman that runs the place, and the gentleman that runs the place has just been absolutely awesome. They let us stay, the family lets us stay at their old ranch house the last couple of years, and it's an old stucco. I mean, it was built early 1900s, but it's perfect setup. We've got a place to shoot our bows, hang our critters. We've got freezers. They've been just super, super accommodating.
Do you see more to that in the Wyoming area anymore? Kind of going to an access fee for a lot of this for non-resident hunters?
I think there's a lot of areas that have in certain parts of it. And I think it's because it's just gotten more popular and inundated. And when one rancher talks to another rancher and the guy says, yeah, I got these guys from North Dakota coming and they pay $500. And he's like, well, hell, I don't charge anything. I think I'm gonna start charging, and so it spreads, but most of them are pretty good. And I know Levi.
Yeah, when we went to Wyoming, that's what we were told. Don't expect to get on anywhere without paying. And we actually knocked on 3 doors and got 2 yeses out of the 3. And neither of them wanted anything. They just wanted us to have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. But at least you're willing to offer something. I mean, if that happens, right? I mean, It's kind of what the I don't know if it's new or people are just getting into, but you see a lot more people kind of considering the access fee type of thing because, I mean, $500, I think that's very reasonable to be able to set up lines and kind of do your own thing and have access to these antelope.
Absolutely.
I think it's like I said, I'm one of those guys, Scott. I have nothing against public land hunting, but I don't have patience for other people's mistakes and having to deal with other people. So if I can pay somebody a little money, and I'm a school teacher, I don't make a ton of money. I don't make a ton of money on the show. I can save, and it costs us maybe about $1,200 to come out here and hunt antelope. And that is not a bad little vacation, because I know when my wife and I go somewhere and we spend 2 nights or 3 nights in a, what do they call them, bed and breakfast type deal, we're paying $1,500. So, this is my vacation. This is my fun. And it goes to somebody that's taking care of the wildlife and taking care of the land. And I'm all for it.
Not only that, but they could probably go buy some fencing material. They could probably get some chemical to spray weeds. And I mean, it'll go back into the ranching operation, hopefully. I mean, that's what a lot of the access fees do. Now, in the future, do you see, whether it's North or South Dakota's, Montana's, Wyoming's game fish parks, do you start seeing, like right now, if you want to be an outfitter, you got to pay a certain percentage back? Do you see in the future some type of legislation where access fees will start being taxed to the state?
I hope not.
Well, again, if you're getting money from someone, if you're doing your taxes the way you're supposed to, it's part of your income, and they're getting taxed on it the way it is now. So
right, but I mean, back to the state agency type of thing, like an outfitter. I think some of them have to pay up to 10% of the outfitting fees back to the game and fishing and parks. So I'm just curious if that's going to be legislated into an access fee on private property.
I think that they would have a fight on their hands, if you ask me, because I said, the private landowner, again, people will say they don't own the game, and I understand that. But if you want to shut total access down in North Dakota, or some of these states where we hunt right now, in the Gillette area, it's like 98% private land, and they even tell you in the proclamation. And so I think if you started doing that to these ranchers, they'd be like, okay, then we're shutting it down. So we got to be careful. We cannot bite the hand that feeds us. And I talked to you about that earlier when someone brought up the fact that maybe these hunting rights should be tied to government payouts and subsidies to ranchers and farmers. And I'm like, oh boy.
Open up a big can of worms on that, John.
You would, because I don't think people understand what these, some of these subsidies and things do. And again, there's some poor farmers out there and poor ranchers that milk the system, no different than anybody else. But without some of those emergency funds, and when the snowstorms come through and wipe out herds of cattle, we wouldn't have, these ranchers would be going belly up, and there would be huge corporate farms and huge corporate ranches, and that would change a lot of things, which would not be good in my eyes.
And when you see these big corporations, especially when they're non-resident big corporation farms and ranches, they definitely are going to use the outside, any type of extra income, whether it's hunting or access fees or any sort, to get more return on their investment. That's what they do. I mean, there's
I think
big ones in North and South Dakota that already do that.
Yes, and I think that you have a way better chance getting on a 5,000 acre ranch that's owned by a family that's been doing it for a couple generations than getting onto a 300,000 acre corporate ranch, because they usually lock it up pretty tight, and a lot of times it's rented to or leased to an outfitter, or they, you look at like a Ted Turner kind of thing. It's like these guys get big and the access goes down. So I think we need to keep the small farmers and ranchers around big time.
I agree. Not only that, because I am one. We got to try to keep it around the best we can. Now, you said you're in Gillette. Can you guess the one thing I purchased out of Gillette? It's kind of ties into what's going on right now in South Dakota.
Pipe.
What was that?
Pipe.
No, it's my first Harley Davidson. I had to buy it out of Gillette Harley Davidson.
You got a Harley?
I used to have like 2 or 3 of them, and then I got rid of them because it's kind of hard to do that when you're out haying all summer, you know.
Yeah, I told Levi he'd look good on one. I think he'd fit in down at Sturgis well.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and the nice thing about Sturgis is everything is cheap, t-shirts, leather, everything. You can get your chaps, everything. Just go down there and get all dressed up, ready to go.
Boy, talking about chaps, I remember when I used to take my kids on vacation, somehow we always timed it during the Sturgis rally, and we'd always forget about it until we started driving. And we were walking downtown one time, and I went to get a beer, and there was a girl serving out of the horse trough in her chaps with a thong on, and my wife did not appreciate me hanging out there getting my beer there.
Well, it wasn't your fault she's dressed like that. Come on.
No, it was quite. There was another lady that walked down the street, and she was topless with paint on, and my kids were like, thank goodness they were small enough they didn't understand that was it looked like a shirt, but it wasn't a shirt.
Yeah, I seen Governor Kristi Noem did the governor's ride going into Sturgis yesterday, so I know she's down there. It's South Dakota Beef Association, man. They are have booths everywhere and really promoting beef this year down at the rally. So good job for those guys too. But anyway, back onto this. I was talking to John Paul Chesky about this. 2 days ago, I did an auction in Hettinger, and a couple of guys that run a Vermeer dealership, they said that they're seeing some of the biggest whitetail and biggest mule deer that they've ever seen. And I don't see that in my area because we got such a hit in the population. Are you seeing that, John? I mean, are these deer going to be looking bigger because the crops are just phenomenal this year in all the areas you look into, unless you got hailed out. But even then, the deer look like they've been very well, a lot of nutrition out there, I guess you could say.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is it's kind of, I don't know, I'm pleasantly surprised but disappointed. The number of deer I'm seeing is not, we wintered a lot of deer last year, and I think it was because we had standing corn and there were so many that came in from around. But there might have been more of a die-off than I thought, because I'm at the point right now that I don't even know if I'm going to take youth hunters for shooting does, because I am not seeing the number of does I should be, and I'm not seeing the fawns. I would say that when I sit on a hill, I usually see 50 deer when I look in a circle, and I'm seeing 5 to 15.
Yeah.
I've got soybean fields that are not smoked off. Usually the whole tops are all, you can just see all the tops eaten off. And I have trail cameras on them. And usually if you get one deer in front, there's 10, behind in the field. And I'm seeing 1 deer in front and 2 in the back.
Yeah.
So I'm a little nervous about the numbers, but I have the bucks that we have been seeing throughout the country. We've got a couple on our place, but not what I was expecting. But their antler growth is nice. I mean, very
Good.
nice. They look very healthy.
Well, I'm glad to hear that in some areas, man. It is good to hear. I don't know how well the deer is going to be here in this area. I have all the fencing I've done, we've been moving cattle, fencing, and all the haying I've done. I've seen 2 deer in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So that scares me a little bit.
It is, and I know people say, well, there's cover. Well, there's been cover before, and you sit on a hill. I spend all that time out there, and Levi can tell you that he's seeing pretty much zero on his place.
Yeah.
I've yet to have a nice buck on camera all year. I got 7 trail cameras going, and I've yet to have a nice deer on camera.
Yeah.
And that's not
Unheard of.
Yeah, it's unheard of. And in that the population too, when I call him, he's sitting on the hill and he'll text me and he'll say, I see 3 deer.
Yeah.
So I think the numbers, and I talked to a gentleman out east, that they actually band together in their county because that they were allocated so many doe tags out in their area, and they found so many dead deer during the winter that they, as a county, have shut down their doe season.
Wow. Okay.
Even though there's doe tags out there. And again, I'm not going to blame the Game and Fish because I think they do their flyover, but I think if you do your flyover too early in February, and we had the winter that we went all the way into April, that there was a lot of deer that died off in late April, because I know they did the second flyover in 1 unit and found a substantial amount of more dead deer. So I think I almost wish that we would have done a little bit more like the antelope. The antelope you can see, so they cut it way back. I think there are some other areas that probably should have been cut back.
Yeah. Well, that's going to open up another thing about not knowing if you got your tag in time or all that. So a couple of, before we leave, Jamie says if John would have had a crossbow, he would have been on time and this morning instead of worrying about practicing with your inaccurate compound bow. And Marty says Levi on a Harley wearing black biker chaps and a skunk vest. I don't think his dad would like that very much.
I think his dad would be on the sidecar with him. Could you see that? That would be awesome.
I'd love to see that. So I'd like to get back. I usually try to make it for the bike rally at least one day. I like people watching. I really do.
Mhm.
But I miss it. It was fun riding down and actually being part of the motorcycle crowd, I guess you could say, and taking the mains and doing all that and riding up into the Black Hills and taking some of the highways up there. But anyway, that's going on here for the next couple of weeks. So be careful, be safe. I'm sure Shelby's having fun driving into Rapid City with all the traffic now.
Yeah, she's actually out at the lake right now. So she said it's, just the hills in general. She said she gets zero service because of the amount of people that come through visiting, that the cell service because of the amount of people on the towers is tough. She goes, it can be tough in the summer, but it's fun to see.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's going to be an interesting hunting season this year. We'll see how the pronghorn goes here. Pronghorn is what I meant on my YouTube title. I spelt it wrong. And the deer season, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, especially in the western sides of the North and South Dakota. But hey, guys, I appreciate you coming in here, especially in the second half. Have yourself a safe trip back from the Wyoming area.
Thanks, buddy.
You bet. See you guys. John Arman and Levi having a little fun down in that area. Appreciate you guys. Coming up here, this don't forget, we got a lot of text messages here, but the Stark County Bull Team Challenge going on tonight, 7:00 Mountain Time at the Stark County Fairgrounds. Dakota Territory Gun Collectors Gun Show. That's going to be September 9th and 10th. And that, of course, at the Sheer Howe Event Center in Main Street, Mulbridge. Something for everybody. You can buy, you can trade, you can browse, you can do all kinds of things. They say here, antique and modern firearms, ammunition, reloading equipment, supplies. They have old Western items. They have some knives, more, they got coins, all these guys here. Dakota Territory does such a nice job. If you want more information, contact Gene Cox out of Mulbridge, 605-848-2427. That again, 605-848-2427. You want more information on the gun show coming up in Mulbridge, September 9th and 10th. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and keep it right here on all these stations here, my daily program on all these great radio stations. Plus, thanks for all the subscribers coming in and checking out YouTube. Eat some meat, drink some milk, have yourself a good weekend. All right, stations, thank you. John, Levi, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy. Sorry for being late.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Who'd you have fill in? We were trying to listen on the radio. We get it a little bit down there. Who'd you have fill in? Another John, I think, or something?
Paul Chesky, a buddy of mine. He was up early this morning sending me Snapchats and all kinds of stuff, and he's having coyote issues in his sheep herd, like really bad. And so we bullshitted about that a little bit and what he's seeing for deer. He went through EHD a few times down in his area. Now his deer kind of have a immunization against it. And this last time he didn't get hit at all, and he's got some big deer, big white-tailed deer down there. Is he
in South Dakota, or where is he at?
He's got land in both North and South Dakota.
Okay.
He's right on the border, but most of this stuff in the north, I think that's where I'm going to go and do my bow hunting. And he went and he bought all those fancy, the ones, the nice blinds that are, composite, the
the Banks blinds.
Yeah, something like that. The ones that you see like in front of runnings all the time, and they're big, heavy duty, nice ones. Yeah,
I think if they're brown, they're Banks blinds. They're molded plastic, and they're pretty much indestructible.
Yeah. He's got a few of those around now, and all his neighbors and everybody come, and they're getting their kids into archery now, so I think I'm going to sneak down and see if he'll let me come down to his place, and because we got nothing up here. We got just
like I said, I think the deer population is down a lot. I'm not a biologist, but when I sit on the hill, I can tell, and especially the trail cameras don't lie. I got, the Big and J feeders out and stuff. And when you got 1 and 2 does coming, and that is it. It's like, I don't know where the deer, and they didn't, I know some of them left back to their home territory, but we had a good population last year. So maybe there's more. Russell said when he was combining in this spring on the field he didn't combine, he saw a lot of hides and bones. So maybe there's more that died than I thought there did.
And the thing that worries me the most is not seeing the bucks. I'm not seeing any fawns on camera.
No.
None.
Yeah.
No whitetail fawns.
I think
I've seen 3 all year, and that was in person.
Yeah, that's me too. 2 fawns I've seen here. I think this is Clay from Guns in the 7-1. I think that Jamie's on the text message. So Clay says their whitetails have recovered a little bit from EHD. It looks like this year numbers are low, but it seems to be certain to come back. And Waylon Turner says my brother Brent was shooting coyotes out of a plane until the plane crashed about a month ago. They both walked away. Well, that was the one that. Okay, so the guy that came out and flew on my property, he says that they have to be hired through the USDA. And he said that they have to keep a certain height and a certain speed now because there was one plane that crashed, and now they came up with new rules for them to be flying under the USDA name. And what happened is they have to fly a little bit faster and a little bit higher. Well, they can't get in any of those coyotes here in the Badlands. They can't get to them because they're too high and they're not allowed to drop down inside anymore.
We need to get a helicopter.
Yeah.
Well, so South Dakota did something really cool down there is they had surplus in their budget. And what they did is they purchased 2, I think it was helicopters just for predator control to help landowners.
Well, you'd think they would have those, I got a buddy out in Montana and he's got an old plane and that thing can go like, it barely goes.
Oh.
It's like almost like those bush planes they get down to, it's crazy how slow it goes.
Well, we got a guy here in Hardin County, South Dakota that builds his own planes, and they're called the Dakota Predator or Dakota something. And it's same thing. He builds them for hunting coyotes, and he can nearly stall out and hang over a coyote really, really nice. But here's the problem is you can't do that in North Dakota. You can do that in South Dakota, but we're not allowed to do that in the state here. You got to be government contracted through the USDA, and then you got to follow their rules. So,
yeah, like I said, it's kind of crazy. Everything is, and again, I suppose they do it for safety. But if a guy wants to crash his own plane, I guess he can crash his own plane. But
yeah, I don't know.
Did I hear you guys say something? Man, maybe we should get freaking armed drones.
Yeah, John said that. I was like, I don't know if that. I think it would be fun in a sense, but oh man, could you imagine the trouble? You know how hard it was to get lighted knocks in archery season. Could you imagine trying to get something like that? All right, Jamie Breck says, why would South Dakota buy helicopters to help landowners? I'm told Christy Nome dislikes landowners now. So that's a whole issue with the Summit pipeline thing, and I don't know. You guys,
I don't know. I know. I've been listening. Yeah, I saw that ours got. They shot it down. I've been listening to Trent Luce, and I know he's been pretty hard on her. And like I said, I don't know her personally. I've met her, but I was gonna, like I said, I don't see her not standing up for landowners. I think that she's a rancher herself, so I don't know where that stands. There's a lot of that stuff that we don't understand because we're not behind the scenes.
Right. And I'm not going to say one thing or another on that. I think she would fight for the landowner, but this whole Summit pipeline thing is kind of throwing a wrench in that whole issue there. So, yeah.
But that got shut down now, right?
Okay.
I saw somewhere they voted it down or something.
The North Dakota Public Service Commission denied the request. So it isn't shut down yet because they still have time to fix what the Public Service Commission didn't like about it. So that's what's going on right now.
Like the big thing is that that eminent domain is a scary thing because when they start pushing it, it's one thing, I think they even did it out by our place one time moving the highway. And I'm like, that doesn't fit for eminent domain. Eminent domain is something that's supposed to be like, I don't know the laws on it, but it's supposed to be something that's pretty, it can't just benefit a couple people and it can't benefit a public for money. It's supposed to be, tied to something super last resort type deal, isn't it?
I haven't researched how it originally started and what the original wording is. And I think it changes because eminent domain's been around for a long time. So the more things change, the more people make it a gray area and they read into it what they want.
Yeah.
But, we have the transmission line that's going across the ranch, and we had our big meeting we have a group of, the landowners all got a group together, and we all band together to have a board of directors that would negotiate with the transmission line people. And,
is that the one coming from Coal Strip?
Yep, from Montana over to south of Mandan there.
I need to visit with you about that because I'm struggling with that because they pushed it up right next to my property, right next to it. And I'm like, I talked to the guy and I said, you know what? I said, I really don't want to look at that. I said, I film there. I do all this stuff. I said, no one's contacted me except I got a letter saying they're going to survey my land without, and they can do that. And I'm like,
no,
I don't like the idea of and again, people are getting paid, and that's what some of these guys are liking it because they're getting paid a lot of money. Well, they push it up right next to my property.
Yep.
And no one has contacted us.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, it's going to be an eyesore. It's, branding is never going to look the same. That's one thing I enjoyed is being able to go over that ridge, and Levi can testify to this, and look over the valley and look where you got to go in the whole pasture. And it's kind of a neat little feeling to go over the top of that hill and start riding down into there. And that's going to be looking a little bit different. So,
well, and that's the same for me. I sit on that rock pile and I look south, and I'm gonna have to look at that thing. And and again, we film for a living, or not part of our living. And it's like, again, I know we need to do certain things, but it's like, I don't like when things are done and I'm left out of it when it's, even though it's not through my property, it does. It's like, I can't build a purple barn on my property without, in town or around, because it affects other people's, view, and it affects other people's property values. So where this line is going through is a perfect place where we could actually, because we split the ranch, build a house, because the water is going to be there and the power is there already. Now I got a power line right next to it.
Yeah. And it's going to be a big son of a gun too.
Yeah.
I looked at this on Thursday when I went to the auction north of Hettinger, just past the Seaman Ranch there. And they have wind towers, they transmission lines, they got all this stuff going on around that. And I looked at it and I was like, man, would this look beautiful without all of that? But then again, you got some people that they encourage it to be on their property because they're going to be getting an easement fee off of it, and they're okay with it. You see some of these older generation people, they're fine with it because they're like, we only have to look at it for a few more years and then hell with it. We got our money out of it, so that's good.
Well, and I think that's what I hear guys say. Well, if I got to look at it, I might as well get paid for it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I guess I'm a little bit different. It's like I've said, if there was oil on our property, unless I could drill from the very corner and not disrupt anything, I would not drill.
Yeah.
Because I don't want, it's more important to have what we have.
Yeah. Wayne says it's like the wind towers. They're ugly. I agree. I think wind towers are I would rather have an oil well than a wind tower any day of the world here.
Yeah.
I agree. But we had a conversation like that with a guy I work with that has them on their property. And I said, I could never, ever, ever allow him to be on our place. I don't care how much they pay. And he said, well, the circumstance that he was in was he was either going to wake up and look at them every day and not get a check, or have them on his place and get a check and still look at them. Yeah. And then I understood what he was saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't get any of the cash, but I'm still going to have to look at them the rest of my life. So that's going to be awesome. Clay says the key to how it is public use defined, and then what is just compensation when it comes to eminent domain, because eminent domain is part of the Fifth Amendment. So they got to have just compensation. But that again, what I feel is just and what the companies feel is just is definitely different.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. I think we got caught up in all the text messages, but all right, man, I got to get ready this evening. I'm going to be doing the Team Bowl Challenge announcing in the Stark County. So that's going to be
have fun.
First one. Tell Nathan Hofer hi for me and Ben Polson.
Nathan's the one who contacted me to be the announcer for it. Yeah. So it'll be him and Benny Paulson will be there. And I wonder how kind of crowd they're going to have.
We were just watching Levi getting bucked off bulls this morning.
I rode most of them.
Doing backflips.
Fat Kid Flips on TikTok. Look it up.
What was it?
Hashtag Fat Kid Flips on TikTok.
Hashtag Fat Kid Flips?
Yep. Yeah.
Good grief. Okay, hold on. See if it actually pulls it up.
Hopefully it does.
Pulling up a whole bunch of kids on trampolines that are huge. So, no, it didn't pull it up right. You guys have a go to, man. I appreciate it.
You too, buddy. Thank you.
You bet. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
You bet. All right, YouTube. Appreciate you guys hanging on here for a while. Appreciate that very, very much. I don't know what else is going on today. It's still drizzling out here a little bit. Not much running off of the roof anymore here, but nice and soft out there, man. Loving it. Hopefully it takes care of some of these grasshopper and flies. Have yourself a good one. We'll catch you next Saturday. I think next Saturday I will be at the Amadon Fire Hall having some burgers, brats, and beers in the morning. So keep it here.